In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how we did 132k in 45 days. The video before this was the testimony of one of the guys, how they felt with working with us, what did we do, what was their situation before this. And this is just a video to go more in depth and more into the strategy, how we set everything up. We won't go too in depth in the technicals, because this will be a video of 45 minutes to at least 2 hours. But this is going to be more over the overall strategy, the backend and the system that we use to do this relaunch of this new offer. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's get into the video. We did 132k in 45 days without running on ads or scamming the followers. Because oftentimes people think they have an audience problem, but that audience problem is just an underlying problem of an offer which leads to an audience problem. Let me tell you why in this case study. Because before working with us, they had a 32% show up rate. After it went to 84. They had an 18% closing rate, which went to 79 with their new offer. They had an average order value of 540 to 4,800. And the chargeback went from 17 to near 0%. Also, their monthly went from 20 to 132k. Because it's oftentimes people think too complicated. Most coaches consultants think that 10 to 20k is easy. 20 to 50k is hard, becoming harder, longer hours. 50 to 100k is even harder. You need to work constantly, post constantly, have to write everything, needs a little bit of luck. But with the right systems, 10 to 20k becomes just as easy as 50 to 100k. And today, I will break down exactly how we help them from being stuck at 20k a month for 6 months to doing well over 6 figures a month after implementing these frameworks. Also, to have the receipts itself, check the video before this, it's linked in the description as well. I believe in full transparency since it's probably the first time you're seeing a video of me. It's just a case study with the guys, explaining how it felt working with us and the results that we've got them, because I can say it, but it's way more trustable if they say it. Anyways, if you're interested in working with us, click the link down below and you'd be very surprised by the delivery. Cool. Anyways, we're going to break it down in where they started, what broke them, what changed in their offer, how we restructured their funnel and team, the content and messaging strategy that converted, and how we launched it into the market. First of all, the starting point, they were stuck at 20k a month for 6 months. Meanwhile, working with us for over 45 days, we've already done 100k a month and 132k in 45 days. We dissected their entire business and came to this one conclusion. What they were offering wasn't what their audience needed. They had a $500 course with a $97 subscription, which did great. They did a 40k in 7 days, which means 80 people bought it. But just as most courses, it has a launch, it has a little peak, and 3 to 4 months later, it just died out, and they were stuck at 20k, barely selling anything and just working long hours with just not the rewards of the launch. They were fighting chargeback and battling dispute cases. Because courses sound good on paper, make it once, never look back at it, and people will just buy it. And I'm not bashing on courses, but I do believe high-ticket courses are the only way to scale consistently with your business. Like Charlie Morgan's course, I know he does numbers because it's a good course, it's a high-ticket course, it's easy to scale, easy to sell. But nowadays, just as Charlie Morgan does, you almost need a sales call just to break even on a course. And you need to constantly update it, or else people will call you a scammer and all the other things. Because imagine this, a $500 course and a closer who takes 10% commission, he's not going to work for 50 bucks. People that buy those types of info, like those cheap courses from $500 to $1,000, those aren't the ones you want to attract. They spend their last bit of money thinking this course is going to save them and all their problems. It attracts people with the wrong mindset, and they see your course as the lucky way out of the lottery. Once they've realized this, before working with us, they already realized that just the course alone wasn't enough. They went over with a high ticket. This is status before working with us. They had a course plus a monthly for $500 plus $97. They had a yearly course for $1,200, only a monthly for $97, and they had a high ticket, free variations ranging from 2 to 5k. They had all these offers, and that just became the bottleneck. People didn't know what to choose, and they just go to the safe option like the course instead of the high ticket, because people weren't interested in it. They were offering anybody anything, and they would just be a McDonald's menu. Everybody could be served, but no one would be satisfied with their order. So the breaking point came. They realized that this isn't the way to scale their info business, especially in Forex, where 99% of the people that are in Forex are scammers. And the rest is legit, like these guys were. They've been flown out to like podcasts, they've flown out to prop firms. They're real legit traders. But instead of getting that recognition, they were seen the same as an FX Alex. They were called a scammer, they weren't called legit, they weren't called real, just fake, and you don't want to be associated with a person like this. Anyways, now they started working with us, Rendezvous. What they had before working with us. They had long hours, a dead community, and shitty months. 10 to 20k isn't a lot compared to all the things that you need to keep in mind. They were with two, so you have to split it at least 50-50, and that's just without the cost of anything, without running of WOP, without running the edit, without paying the editor, without anything of the cost deducted for the profit. They were missing a coaching framework, the coaching framework that we implemented. Because when we applied this, a different framework and mindset for them, they could work less, focus more on the trading, and deliver actual value inside of their offers. We made them actual business owners instead of glorified freelancers. Rather than focusing on everybody, we became more micro-niched. We were focusing on traders who, instead of just being a window shopper or semi-serious, we were focusing on actual winners who were willing to do everything to make trading a full-time job. We were only going to sell premium offers, 3k starting 6 to 9k and 12k. Because do the math yourself. Compared to getting one sale of 3k, you need to get at least 6 sales of $500 a day. That's a 1 to 6 ratio. The fulfillment is way easier. And also, let's say you need to go to 100k. It's compared 180 people to 33. I know it sounds unusual, but selling a high ticket offer won't that scare that many people off. Yes, it will. But at this point, the people who weren't willing to spend more than 3k aren't people who you want to work with. Because the space of making money online is insanely high. The competition of info sellers and info buyers has grew tremendously. Rather than focusing on beginners who only blame you, we were focusing rather on a more advanced group of people who were ready to make a change. Now they were working with us. The first thing we had to do was kill all those offers. We mapped out the offer entirely and made a sick guarantee, so we attracted only serious buyers, because most people alone just converted because of the one guarantee that we gave them inside the Forex niche. We'd make them guaranteed funded, which is a offer which sounds so insane and so insanely well that people just bought purely on the offer. This was possible with the offer and the structure we had set up. The only thing they could do is be as motivated as it can be to make this a reality. This offer was a no-brainer to buy, it made us premium, and it made us stand out inside the Forex industry. People already knew, because it was such a good guarantee, that it was going to be a premium offer which cost way more than the average course or anything. And the people that we attracted to it were money hungry and cash ready. Now let's go over the technicals. We set up our team ready and carefully handpicked. Before working with us, they didn't even have a setter. They just were doing the DMs themselves, closing themselves, doing everything themselves. And they were wondering why they were making such long hours. We had a setter who was experienced with trading and not one that just get paid to set calendar appointments. He was getting paid per closed appointment. We set up the bulletproof backend where we were filtering leads one way or several ways, either through a Calendly form or just a regular type form. And if they'd score enough points based on those answers, then they could book a call. We used Monday for the backend. We were filtering one lead several ways through. We used Uform compared to Typeform because Uform for some reason had a better Calendly integration, which worked way better with the converting of the leads and getting them immediately on an appointment. Here's how the funnel was structured to start to finish. We had Instagram, YouTube, also Discord, but it's not here. And whenever they clicked on the link, which was structured, they went to a VSL where either a Uform or Typeform was with some filtering questions, and qualified applicants got redirected to WhatsApp. And if WhatsApp failed, we were just using SendBlue so we could reach out to everyone. The appointment setter handled everything through round one, either through voice or text. If the appointment setter was available, he called them up. But if he was out of office or he was basically sleeping, because we're in the Netherlands, and if we have American people, yeah, we have to, of course, use some automations. The setter then booked the call to the closer, and if qualified, call, close, onboard, all in that sequence. Also, if you're curious on how we set up the technicals to get an 84% show up rate and the other things, look at the first video on this channel. It goes way more in depth about the technicals and how to set up everything yourself. Anyways, the things that you need for your business and takeaways here are fairly simple. You need a bold offer, a strong VSL, a strict qualification form, and if they pass, either WhatsApp or DM convo with the setter, qualified, booked, with the closer, and then boom, case closed. The VSL itself shouldn't be hours, max 12 minutes. After that, most people drop off and you're just filling in space. And bam, you have the 1 to 6 radio sealed for the day. And again, that's just comparing it to a 3K deal. We had several packages ranging from 3 to 12K, all decided in the call and filtered by the appointment setter. Because the last thing you want to do is have someone who is willing to invest 9K or more and closing them on a 3K offer. Because again, we're business owners, we need to make as much money. Everybody gets happy from making much money. If not, I'm sorry, I am. Okay. Content. What did we do to convert this lead? Well, the first backend infrastructure that we did was focus more on the content. We deleted the link tree, again, because link trees are just ways to get lost leads. If someone is interested and they click on a link tree, they won't click any further. We had one link in the bio to the VSL, the rest had something in common with the mentorship that we sold. Nothing else was important as this. We had made some content with the Discord, the testimonials, the payouts where they were featured on for some extra credibility, TTA fragments, and the ski vlog. Also some extra vlogs to get more in-depth connection with the people that are interested in the content. The funnel itself is fairly simple. I will teach you my complete trading strategy to become consistently profitable. Just a VSL, 12 minutes long. Extra social proof. The social proof was before the high ticket. We were already coaching some people, but not as many people. So the social proof was all from these guys, which was great because we finally had some social proof. And yeah, all this was just to focus on the buyer's journey, the route that a lead takes from being interested into buying. Because first of all, a lead probably watches your short form. Then they get interested in what your long form. And then they definitely get interested into what you're doing, how you're living your life and everything. You need to think this through. What does a lead first see? What does he see after? And why should he see that? And what should he see after that? If you've mapped out this perfectly, followers become way easier to convert. Ours was fairly simple. Before launching, people saw that something was coming. We showed them more of the content and showed more of the day in the life. We were brewing this up in 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, they were already showing some more of the successes, the jokes, winning trades, losing trades, everything they could to align more with the audience. We showered them with some social proof, authority, and personal content so the viewers had someone to connect with. This is such an important step. What they should see when they first see our content is also fairly simple. A lead sees content, he gets interested, he decides to follow us, and then from Instagram he sees stories of them and thinks, hey, he's the same age as me, has achieved so much success with trading, he must do something right. Wow, he's just like us, a bunch of guys chilling in one place and making money. I want to do that. These thoughts is what needs to get into the head of your leads. Because showing more of your lifestyle is actually something that will tremendously improve the way people are seeing you and thinking of you. And once you have that in place, like the actual system to get that, you'll realize why. Because Iman Gatsi, you barely see any agency content from him. TGR, you barely see any trading content from him, but you know what they're doing. All of them because of the lifestyle content. You saw some of their lifestyle content, and then came that you were searching on their profile. You got your interest piqued, and you align with the person to find out. Whenever you do these few steps first, instead of just being purely based on the technicals, you need to focus more on the tofu content. After that, you can focus more on some MOFU, which is middle funnel content, like technical content. And whenever you're doing that, you'd see that whenever your appointment setter reaches out to new followers, people are way more likely to respond because they connect with you. They consume more of your content instead of just analyzing on the technicals. they feel way more inclined to react because they see you as a friend slash role model instead of just another guru who has success and I don't have it. It's also known as the KLT principle, know, like, trust, a framework used in marketing and relationship building to guide how people develop trust in a brand or an individual. Then came launch day. We started the launch off very strong and successful. We had teased the weeks before that something big was coming on all channels. We had YouTube, Discord, and Instagram, whereas Instagram, due to the stories and everything, became the big winner. Something new was coming up. With a 6-story sequence also, combined with a YouTube code, which went straight to a form, whereas Instagram had a call to action to DM. We had to set up 2 setters just to have all of the leads answered. We had something to announce, and then just some social proof to relate, showing that he's an authoritative figure, and then the guaranteed funded. That's something that people actually, this story got screenshotted and hearted so much that we really thought this was the key seller in our thing. Then we gave them what they want, daily live sessions, weekly one-to-one calls, a free funded account, and a guarantee of getting funded, which is the best. I'm looking for 5 lucky people and only vote on the poll if you meet the requirements. And then just people started to vote and the appointment setter reach out. We had everything dialed in, from the closers again to the setters. Everybody knew what their job was, and the offer was that good that we did a 60k week in the first week of going live, which is insane. If you think about it, that's almost a 300k month with an offer which hadn't really had any social proof or knowing of people were actually interested into what the offer was. Just alone on being real on the stories, combining that with a solid offer and a strong team, and these results aren't really out of the ordinary. Also, there were some downsides. See, as many of you are probably thinking, this is only possible because of the sheer amount of people following them. At this time of recording, they have 76k, but at that time they had like 65k. But that's far from the truth. Most of the audience was pure and utter trash when we first started. Because with the new content, after doing different content for over 5 years, their engagement dropped, their story views dropped, and their likes and views dropped. Because actually, that was the best thing that could happen. Because most of those people that were liking and interacting with the content were people we never want to work with. We basically had to cut down more than 90% of his followers. Just alone, YouTube had so many responses before, and after working with us, it slowed down. We had a lot of people applying for the forums, but again, very few came through the first round and showed up to calls. Most of his content also went viral in third world countries, which I see with a lot of people, and my only main sole tip is try different content that aligns with a different type of audience. You can see that inside the Instagram story highlights on how the content performed, and if it performed worse, look at where it performed worse rather than just looking at views. Most of his content again went viral in third world countries, which could never buy or pay the new offer. Because when we had the $500 offer, some of them could buy it, but it was their last money. So that's why all those millions of chargebacks happened and those disappointed customers came from. They had a lottery ticket mindset, thinking that this was going to help them. Trading is a capital intensive money making skill. And if you aren't loaded or advanced with trading, the mental part of the finances will kill you whenever you're stressing about money. Anyways, the key takeaways from here. Your follower amount doesn't matter. I know people with 1,000 YouTube videos who are bringing in 100k per month easily. Meanwhile, you got guys like these struggling with 100k Insta to bring in 20k before actually knowing what the core fundamentals were. The last step, which was very important, was the onboarding. Once we had them converted to a sale from 3 to 12k, this is probably my favorite thing because I believe the delivery, the after sales delivery, needs to be on top of mind so you can get testimonials way easier. The closer did the onboarding immediately if he had time. And if he didn't have time, we just had a Calendly form where they could book in an appointment and someone else of the team, the success manager, will probably do it. When we onboarded them, the goal was simple. Immediately within their high of motivation and desperate for success, we gave them access to all the stuff so they could immediately start. If there wasn't a live session that day that they missed, they could already start with the new advanced Discord and the WOP course, and they could already start trading with a funded account if they felt comfortable with it. This is so important. Just like a personal trainer tries to let someone lose a pound in a week, we also try to get someone a quick win with the free trading account, with the free course, and with the advanced Discord. This is important for client success, just as important as delivering results. This after sales process helps with getting more cash collected, because whenever someone pays for a 6 to 9K deal, they oftentimes don't pay in full because they are scared, the skepticism. But due to killing the skepticism that quick, oftentimes those guys said a week later, hey, just let me pay the full, and then when it's done. Cool. Last step. Launch day. You right now have two options for your new launch or your current offer with these tips. Option A, you could partner with us, some A players. We'll fix all of these things in more or less than 2 weeks' time. Or option B, you could follow these steps. You can do audience research just like we did. From that audience research, you're going to package a premium offer, and you're going to use the KLT rules inside of your content. You become relatable, not memeable, and you start becoming, again, more in line with the people you want to connect with and you want to recognize with. Then you have the tofu content mostly finished, and now it's just the middle of the funnel and the back end. You need to set up the right backend system. For the CRM, I would highly advise something like Monday. For the interface, it's very easy. Go high level for the ease of use for your team, and Airtable for the scalers. Right now we're using Airtable with a few of our clients, and we can see that due to the knowing of the percentages on how things are going, we can massively improve just on that and that data. Anyways, for the funnel, if you're going to use Go High Level, use Go High Level again. Perspective is also a tool I see for newcomers. It's fairly easy to use if you're not really technical with anything, and also just let someone buy a Framer or Webflow website. Connect all of those automations into a Zapier and just connect them to your WhatsApp or SendBlue whenever you're mostly selling into the US, and let your seller handle round one. Cool. In this video of 20 minutes, I hope you had some value. I hope you have the strat locked down, written it down. And anyways, again, if you're actually interested in what it's like to partner with us, you can always book a call. We won't pitch you anything stupid, and just see if there's a workaround with your offer and scale you to at least 50 to 100K inside the next 45 days or so.